A reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have fallen asleep. For since death came through man, the resurrection of the dead came also through man. For just as in Adam all die, so too in Christ shall all be brought to life, but each one in proper order. Christ the first fruits. Then, at his coming, those who belong to Christ. Then comes the end, when he hands over the kingdom to his God and Father, when he has destroyed every sovereignty and every authority and power. For he must reign until he has put all his enemies under his feet. The last enemy to be destroyed is death. When everything is subjected to him, then the Son himself will also be subjected to the one who subjected everything to him, so that God may be all in all. The word of the Lord.
Our second reading for the solemnity of Christ the King comes from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. We have been talking about the type of king that Jesus is and the type of kingdom that he comes to inaugurate. In the first reading, we have the image of the shepherd king who loves tenderly, who tends the sheep, and who welcomes them into his kingdom of love. Now, we can pursue the same reflection in the second reading. We discover that Jesus, our shepherd king, the shepherd goes ahead of the sheep so that the sheep can look to the shepherd as someone they can follow. Here, St. Paul depicts Jesus as the one who goes ahead of us, goes ahead of the sheep towards where? Towards new life, towards God's life. This is attained to us by Jesus in his resurrection. Remember, even liturgically, we celebrate Good Shepherd Sunday during the Easter season because the risen one leads the flock to the Father's kingdom. Jesus, the risen one, opens the gates of heaven. And that's the whole purpose of his ministry and his passion and death, so that as the shepherd, he can lead all of us to the full presence of God in the resurrected life. Now, St. Paul teaches us that. What a wonderful shepherd that we have. He will not lead us only to the good things of this life. Our shepherds, our worldly shepherds, often lead us to the joys of this world. No? Even parents, they are like shepherds. But where do they bring their children? Only to parks, only to malls, only to shopping. No? And we are shepherds to one another. Where do we bring our friends? Oh, we bring them, we even lead them, to places where there are discounts, to sales, etc. But our King Shepherd, he leads us to the risen life in the full presence of the Father. And that is victory. That is victory. Our King, the one who was humiliated, the one who suffered and died, actually was just leading us to the victory of his risen life. So St. Paul tells us that he will finally rule when all of his enemies have been subjugated, all sin, all vices, everything that dehumanizes us, everything that destroys life, the human person, justice in society, and the integrity of creation, all of the enemies of God will first be subjected to the power of the shepherd who rose from the dead. And death itself will be defeated. And when he has triumphed in his resurrection, and the power of the resurrection is received by all of us, then this shepherd of ours will humbly hand over this kingdom to the Father, so that God the Father will be all in all. What a beautiful image of our King, Shepherd, the shepherd who lays down his life for his sheep, so that he could lead the sheep to God. And in his death, he defeated death and defeated everything that will destroy his flock. This shepherd king is a humble king. He is a king that is willing to lay down his life for his friends, for his sheep. I am the good shepherd. I lay down my life for my sheep, and I take it up again in that victorious resurrection, where all of us will now have access to the new life in God. My dear brothers and sisters, the love of the shepherd reaches death, for that is the ultimate act of love, laying down one's life for the sheep. Let us give thanks to God for the shepherd that we have in Jesus.